Okay, let's do some revision. What is a syllable? Beaten a word. What must every syllable have?
A vowel.
Okay. What are the 3 steps to divide words into syllables? Put a V over the vowels, then a C over a consonant between the first pair of vowels. And the 3rd step is? Use the rule to divide the word. So let's look at the rules we have learned. When we see this pattern in a word, where do we divide?
Between the consonants.
Between the consonants. When 2 consonants come between 2 vowels, we divide the between the consonants. Okay? What about this pattern? Where do we divide?
Before the consonant.
Okay, when 1 consonant comes between 2 vowels, we divide before the consonant. And what is the other syllable division rule we've learned?
VV.
The VV rule. Okay, what does the VV rule tell us?
Divide 2 vowels come together.
Okay.
One sound.
Right, okay. So we divide between the vowels unless the vowels make one sound. Now level 2 have some phonic cards with vowels on them, 2 vowels coming together, such as the EE card and the OO card, okay? Now these cards tell us that the vowel makes one sound. Sometimes the letters at the end of a word make their own sound rather than the individual sounds of the letters blended together. One example of this is, you have a phonic card with this on it. The letters AGE, which makes the sound idge, as in cabbage idge. Can you think of any other phonic cards you have with cha? Very good. Picture cha. Any others? Station shun. Right. Any others? Very good. Square air. And what about the phonic we learned in class today? Bare air. Okay. Now on your phonic card, you will see a little dash before these sounds. Okay? And this tells us that these sounds come at the end of a word. And you usually get 3 or 4 letters with one of them being a vowel. So when we are doing syllable division, we already know the sound of these word endings, so we can box it, as we don't need to waste time dividing them to find out what the sound is. Also, you could box off any suffixes that you recognize. Let's just do a little recap. What is a suffix again? Right, letter. Very good. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of examples just to practice boxing the endings. Just do what I just suggested. We look at the word first and we see if there's an ending that we recognize that we have on our phonic card. Can you see anything you recognize?
Yes.
Right. So we can just box this EER, right? And then we know that S is a suffix, so we could also just box that. So now we could forget about that because we know what sound it makes. So we're going to divide this part of the word following the 3 steps. What was the first step?
A V over the vowels.
A V over the vowels, which are? U,
O,
and O. Okay, what was the second step?
Write a C over the consonants between the vowels.
All right, write a C over the consonant between the first pair of vowels. What rule do you recognize there?
VCCV.
Which says?
2 consonants come between 2 vowels. Divide between the consonants.
Okay, now look what's happening now. We have two vowels coming together. Now, we know that we have OO on one of our phonic cards, spoon, oo. So we know they make one sound. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to circle these two vowels and make it into one sound, okay? So now we can attempt to read the word, right? So let's read it syllable by syllable. Buccaneers. Okay. But do we know a word, buccaneers? What word do we know of a Tobago steel band? Buccaneers, right. Buccaneers, right? Okay. So that's that one. Okay. So let's look at the next one now. Okay. So let's follow the steps to divide this word. The first step is to put a V over the vowels. What are our vowels? E, A, I, and we need to put one on the Y because Y acts as a vowel, has a vowel sound at the end of the word. So let's just go through the steps. First step is we're looking at the first two vowels, okay? We're not sure if it's one vowel sound or two vowel sounds. So let's move on to the next pair of vowels. Let's put a consonant over the T. What rule do you see? The VCV rule, which says when one consonant comes between two vowels, divide before the consonant. Okay? So let's go to the next pair of vowels. And we put a C over the consonant. Let's say the rule together. When one consonant comes between two vowels, we divide before the consonant. Again, we have one consonant. Let's say the rule together one more time. In fact, you could say it on your own this time. Let me hear you.
When one consonant comes between two vowels, divide before the consonant.
Okay, all right. So now let's go back to these two vowels here, okay? Now sometimes EA can make one sound, as in Easter, and sometimes we have to divide, okay? So let's see if we could read this word and see which one is closest to the word we are familiar with. So let's try making it one sound first, and we would get creativity. Is that a word we know? Not really. No. Let's try dividing this vowel now, and let us see if it comes closer to a word we're familiar with. Creativity. Okay, so this is one case where we would divide between the E and the A. That's a little tricky, that one. Okay, so let's look at the ending of this word now. Okay, the letters ITY is actually a suffix. Okay, let's think about the word celebrate. So you could have celebrate as a root word, or you could have celebrity with ITY as a suffix. Or we could have real and reality, where ity would be the suffix. Again, another one, captive, captivity. Okay, so if you're familiar that the ITY is a suffix, what we could have done at the very beginning was we could have just boxed it and got it out the way, okay? And then it would have been less work for us to do earlier on in the word. But if we didn't recognize it, well, we would have got the same answer anyway, okay? It would have just saved us a little bit time, right? Okay? So we're going to do some more examples now in our workbook. So if you just turn to exercise 1, and we're going to get a little bit more practice at this.